Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Ascend the Mountain. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Steve, and we are just two normal dudes just helping people in their walk with the Father. Ascend the mountain.
One of the brutal things here in Colorado is that they use like gravel a lot to help melt the snow and give traction and stuff.
Not gonna lie, it kind of sucks.
Kind of sucks because at some point, most windshields in Colorado, and if you're listening and you live in Colorado, you know what I'm talking about, have a chip or a ding or a crack because something was thrown at you on the highway and damaged your windshield. And you can have like several sometimes. I think my Subaru has like 3 or 4 little chips.
I think my wife and I replaced a windshield in our new CRV for 3 straight years.
Good night, dude. I know some companies now have, like here in Colorado, have like a warranty thing, like to put like every year if you want for free, they'll put one in.
Ours is we can get a new window every year.
I would get it. I would totally pay for it if you live in Colorado.
My wife finds them.
So that's what we're talking about, because what happened was a year ago, I got a rock thrown in the very far corner, driver's side, of my windshield. But at the time, and it caused like a little chip. But at the time, I was like, it doesn't look that bad. I just got things going on, whatever. I don't know. Eventually, I'll try and get over there and try and get the chip taken care of. Before I know it,
but you always stare at it as you drive.
Yep.
You're like, I see you.
Before I know it, it's spiderwebbed a little more and a little more. And before I'm like, okay, it's too far now. Now it's too far gone, and now I have to replace the windshield. And now it's almost like 3/4 of the way across my window. This crack has gone all the way across, and I've been watching it like all year round. I'm like, well, I hope it doesn't go past this point. Like my steering wheel goes past the steering wheel. I hope it doesn't go past my speaker in the center of the console. Goes past the speaker. So now it's almost to the other side of the window or the car at this point. And so the concept that we just want to touch on today a little bit, and Steve, I'm sure you have like an example in your own personal life. But mine tends to be like more the biblical side, and then you've actually lived it. That's what it seems like.
You have a biblical story of like, you bring Steve for Exhibit A.
Yeah. But think of the very small pebbles that cause chips. What's the word I'm looking for? Not inconsistencies, but fractures, if you will, in your life. It may seem very small and insignificant, but if left unattended, will spiderweb and continually grow to the point where everyone can see it. If you got into my passenger side when that first happened, you probably wouldn't even see it. You wouldn't even know it was there. Now everyone who gets in my car is like, oh, you have a crack in your window.
Start going like
this,
just like
exactly. Yep. And I'm so used to it, and this is the worst part, okay? Okay, man, this is so good. We're like discovering this crap as we're even talking. The worst part of that is that oftentimes I forget that it's even there because I'm so used to seeing the problem.
Yeah. Sweet Jesus.
And I remember, like, literally, I haven't really even thought about it because it doesn't, like, I'm just so used to this ginormous crack in my windshield now.
Yeah.
My father-in-law was visiting a couple weeks ago, sits down in the car, and he's like, whoa, what happened here? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, the crack in your window? I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, how many times that maybe it's glaringly obvious to the people around us, an issue or a problem that started and could have been remedied, but we let alone. And now everyone who meets us, everyone who encounters us, everyone who lives with us is like, that is a major problem in your life. So,
well, in my life, everyone gets in my life in the car of my life. It's just a clear windshield. People see nothing.
I thought you were going to be like, everyone can see into your life. Like, how everyone.
I live in a glass house. Yeah. For my life, yes. I really had anger issues. And it started in my teenage years, early teens. And it came through sports. It came through I get frustrated so easy. I mean, my fuse was short. And I don't, just anything. Like, something just so simple. I couldn't open the door the first time. I always, and this like kind of immediately. And never dealt with it. Just thought it was part of life. Didn't even know.
That's the way.
No one really brought it up. Kind of having the little crack, no one really brought it up. And then I could tell you, my marriage was in trouble because of my anger. I remember this time, my son was a newborn, not 3-4 months, still in the bottle.
Sure.
And I had to watch him that day, and he just would not eat unless he was breastfeeding.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He did not want the fake thing. He wanted the real thing. And I would just get so frustrated and so mad to the point, but I would start out mad. Just take the stupid bottle. That's what I would say to this little 3-4 month, like, just take the stupid bottle. And I'll never forget this day when my wife came home. She saw milk in bottles just smashed over our wall. I was like,
Because you were so pissed.
I was like,
you
this
just throw it.
freaking kid just won't eat. And I just remember, and it just was something so small, knowing it's going to happen,
Yeah.
and going, man. But it's just, and eventually, just my anger so quick would cause such friction in my marriage that obviously there was other things wrong with our marriage at the time, but that was a big part of it. Is just that anger and just being pissed off all the time and just not controlling it. And I used to punch holes in doors. It was not good. This is my early 30s, and just ended up seeing a counselor, got the hole fixed. Ended up, because I was abused, as kind of dealing with some emotional, physical, and verbal abuse from my stepmom. So, a lot better now. Last 10 years, I still get frustrated quick, but I know how to handle it.
Yeah.
So I kind of see the hole, but I know how to handle it. It's more like I'll just go like this on the ground roll out, or I'll go. My family makes fun of me because I'll growl.
Sound like my voice.
I'd walk. I'm your son now.
Yeah.
I walk up the stairs and I'll go. And my daughter. I remember this time. My daughter goes, "Dad's mad," but that's it. I know when I'm mad now, so I don't let the spider web get out of control. But
Right.
anger was,
It's
and
kinda
I'm
like
sure that's for a
patching
lot of
that,
people.
yeah.
Anger,
Yeah. It's
is
like
a big
patching
one.
that hole
yeah.
or that chip.
And I know not to let it spread anymore. And I've been on a good decade of being good.
Wow.
I still get frustrated. I still have a short fuse.
Yeah.
I can get frustrated so quick.
Right.
But there's my Exhibit A.
There's your story.
I'm sure people resonate with that. I mean, probably no one has anger issues.
Well, I'm sure most people have anger issues.
Yes.
Even myself, not to that level, but I'm just thinking about, I'm trying to do better, but there comes a point where my boys push my buttons to the point, particularly when they're like, "Daddy, can I have like candy? Can I have M&Ms? Can I have M&Ms? Can I have M&Ms?" No, after dinner. But Daddy, I want M&Ms. M&Ms. Daddy, M&Ms. You know, kind of thing. That's
And
like,
then you turn into-
no.
You turn
know?
into Thanos and you just want
Yep. And you can see it, particularly in my older son. He's more of the emotional
Yes.
one. You can see it in his expression immediately. Like, I didn't physically hurt him in any way, but me just yelling no at him in that way. Like, of course, I need to put my foot down and not just give him candy all day.
Yes.
But the way I went about that, you can see it in his body language of like, I punched him, like emotionally.
Yes.
You know?
That's my son.
Yeah.
I raise my voice at any time, even if it's firm.
Yeah.
Even at 13, I know not to talk to him like that.
Yeah. And so it's hard. I mean, it's very hard to not live life that way or to operate at a certain point in that. And so the challenge, I think, for all of us, because we all have them, I mean, these are just some things that Steve and I shared, but we got plenty more, and I'm sure you do too, of
I have one.
think about those things. And maybe if you okay, if you honestly are driving down the road of life and you go, I don't have any spider web, I don't have any chips. Like, what are you talking about? I'm good. You need to find someone who you trust that is like a good friend or a family member who you know, like, can be honest with you, and you need to ask them and go, do
get
I
the passenger
have
seat.
like some crap? Right, they need to be like my father-in-law to sit down and go, what the heck is this? And to be honest, and be like, do you see any like major either character or sin patterns or just behavior patterns in my life that are not good? And to be honest, because most people don't want to ask those questions. If you can't see one, and be honest with them and have them have a real honest conversation. Don't try to be defensive, and be like, no, that's not true. Well, I act that way because of this, Like, just take it for what it is and then ask God to help you. Be like, God,
Yes.
I don't know how to fix this on my own.
I had to see intense counseling.
There you go.
It unpacked many bags. There's a reason why that chip is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just don't appear.
Right.
Some rock hits you at some time.
Yep.
Something hits you that caused the emotional scar. I'm not trying to be Dr. Phil or Oprah Winfrey here, but it's true. There's something that hit it
Yeah.
and hit you personally, and we kind of just suppress, especially as men.
Yeah.
We just suppress it,
Yeah.
hoping I'm good at this. My daughter is just like me. Gets frustrating dealing with her sometimes. She's like, I just want it to go away, so I just don't deal with it. Like, it just doesn't go away.
Right. You can't bury it.
Like I'm talking to my own mirror to my daughter. Like, it just doesn't go away, and
Right.
and that's what you have to if you don't deal with it, it's going to get out of control. Eventually, you're just going to lose your windshield, and
Yeah.
just going to cause more problems than it. But there's a reason why it's there. And I think seeing a counselor, I'm all for therapy and counselors and
Yeah, totally.
dealing with your crap
Right.
and going, hey, how can we? Because you need to deal with it.
Right. And asking God, how do it, like, what is it? Is it counseling? Is it medication? Is it trusting for your healing? You know, is it talking to someone, forgiving somebody? You know, doing that is the process on how to heal that chip in that wound.
And mine was forgiving my stepmom. Once I let that go, I've been so much better. Because I mean, it was intense. I went to some even weekend men retreats that were, they ain't your normal, hitty ho. You deal with your stuff, and it was, you have to deal with it. And just like you, but once you see it, but now I pinpoint it, right? So when I get a chip in my car now they have these chip places on the side of the road, and we've done it. We're like, hey, they'll put a glue in it. I don't know what they put in it, but it's like $35.
Yeah.
You can deal with it right away and go, okay. Or you can just let it get out of control and destroy your marriage and relationships and you internally. So.
And I'll even, to kind of wrap this up, but to go get that chip fixed, you have to break from your regular routine of life. You have to take time out of your schedule to go get that windshield. That was my laziness. I was basically being lazy, didn't want to deal with it.
Sounds like Aaron.
Didn't know how much, it was going to cost. So I just kind of pretended like it wasn't there for a while, hoping that maybe one day I'll get around to it. But before I knew it, it was too late. And that healing that chip, healing that damage will take you getting out of your regular routine. It will cause you to have to transition and stop somewhere. If I'm using the car analogy, to go in and get repaired. You've got to do it. You can't just keep humming on life and hope it lose itself back together.
You're just driving along and hoping that, it's gone.
Magically went away. Wrong.
Doesn't work like that.
Right.
Life does not work that way.
Right. So
wish it did.
Yeah.
So
anywho, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm having fun doing this.
That was
good. Complimenting myself before we're done. Hope you guys feel it.
You will tell us if you like it by your thumbs up and sharing it and your comments.
All of that. So.
And once again, we do apologize. We are extremely busy. Well,
We are.
We're dealing with a lot of stuff during
Yeah.
this pandemic and our jobs and
Life and everything.
just life. And so we're sorry we don't get as much content out there. We don't see definitely each other as much as
Yeah, it
we
helped when
used
we
to.
were seeing each other 4 days a week.
Yes. So now we don't see each other as much, and we do live not even close to each other. So
Stupid.
but we're going to try to get as much as we can.
Yeah.
We do love you guys. Obviously, Spotify, Apple, I think it's on Amazon by now.
You know what? And I'm just gonna throw this out here. If you guys are listening this late, then we want to hear from them. Like this late in the video,
Yeah.
if they haven't signed off by
Yes.
now, is leave a comment below if there's a topic or a question you'd like us to touch on. We'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Love it. Thank you guys. Love you guys.
Peace.
Peace.